Greetings and salutations. Neo Genesis Evangelion. What the hell? I got in this series probably back in the 90s or whenever it first aired on UK TV. The gist is that two events have already occurred. The impacts. The first impact, which created life on Earth. The second impact, which wiped out most of humanity. And now we are dealing with the events leading up to the third impact, or rather the events trying to stop it. The story is based around a war against the angels. Angels, apostles, depending on what translation or what you believe of the internet. It is the business of Nerve, a organization dedicated to stopping the angels from reaching another angel, angel number 2, Lilith, stop the angels from reaching her and initiating the third impact, which was necessarily eradicate humanity, evolve them, or something over like that. It's all very convoluted and sometimes headache-inducing. It is that much of a pain-in-the-ass series. And to combat these angels, since usual weapons that they have don't work on them, or don't finish off the angels for good, they use Evangelions. Units that are basically giant humans of near godlike power, as stated by the wiki, that are created by Nerve from the samples taken from the first angel, Adam. Although technically Eva Unit 1 may be an exception to that. In truth, the Evangelions were supposedly created to combat the angel threat, although they have a more important feature, and that is to initiate the third impact, which is being pushed for by another organization named Sele, or in accordance to the Dead Sea Scrolls, to evolve humanity even further. Now, what is an Evangelion? I've already said it before, they are giant humans, in the broadest sense of the term human. They are often mistaken to be giant robots, but when you see them without armor, they're not robots. They're giant organic beings. As when the armor comes off, you see them with eyes, they have teeth. These things are unpleasant to look at. But the machinery, the computer components grafted onto them are to control them, to allow the pilots to maneuver them in combat against the angels. You really have to ask about the ethical morality about this, because on some levels, these things are sentient. And is revealed further on in the series. There's a human soul powering, in one way or another, these units. In particular, Unit 1, which Shinji Ikari pilots. Whose soul is in there? His mother's. That's screwed up, and the poor kid's already screwed up already. So, yeah, now that I brought him up, let's talk about Shinji, shall we? Now, if it isn't the plot that twists you and such what, it is going to be Shinji who does it. In the anime series to the anime features, he's not really all that much different. In the beginning, he's shown to be passive, laid back. He enjoyed a relaxed life with his sensei or teacher. But in truth, he lost his mother, and that time his father abandoned him. And the next time he's called by his father 11 years later, is to pilot Unit 1. He doesn't question this, he just returns to Tokyo 3, and originally he does not want to pilot the Eva. And ultimately his father gets him to do it by blackmailing him into it. Jay, ain't he the running example for Father of the Year? This is the main problem of the series, because you think with a tale of humanity's evolution with a war, and a war between Eva's humanity and angels, that'd be the focus of the plot. No, it's not. It's on the main character, it's on Shinji. And this is where the problem is. I've heard some of the characters being called whiny before, and I'm thinking no, they're not. And then Shinji comes to mind. Because going by the wiki to confirm what I know about him, he yearns for praise even though he denies it, and that's why he pilots Eva Unit 1. To win the approval and praise of others, to win the approval and praise of his father, above all else. He is... Let's put it this way, he's gutless. The guy's got no backbone. He fears being left alone or just being hated. He is so emotionally fragile that ultimately, when things get tough, he shuts down. And when he shuts down, normally, he shuts himself away from his work. He's usually playing a bit of music on this music player. Shinji is very aware of his own faults and is outwardly gentle and compassionate compared, says the wiki. He needs a reason to fight the angels, not for simple survival. He needs some more regions, and he has justification of running away from piloting so he doesn't hurt others. Let's put it this way. All the while, throughout the series, Shinji makes a jellyfish look like it has a very sturdy backbone. He always is looking for the approval of others. He can never find it for himself. He needs it from his father, his guardian, his other Eva pilots, his friends. When not involved with the Evas, he's a fairly decent person, particularly when it comes to his schoolmates. But then we come to the Evas and the war against the angels. He blames himself for not being good enough for his fathers to stick around. He's introverted to God knows how, to the ultimate degree, and he feels his life has no meaning. He is antisocial to the nth degree and has problems controlling his emotions. There is a point in the series where it's shown his sync rate with his Eva unit is above the other Eva units, and he gets cocky about this. Cocky enough to the point he gets reckless and he gets himself eaten by an angel. And by the time he gets spat out after breaking loose, he's back to his usual self. And by the time the ending of the end of Evangelion movie, he is back to his pathetic, self-loathing state, where ultimately when he can make the most difference, he doesn't. He shuts down. His all-time worth has gone down the drain. And in the rebuilt movie series, he has to face the fact that he initiated the third impact. He basically annihilated Tokyo 3 in an attempt to recover one of the other Eva pilots that had been eaten by an angel. He starts the third impact, and because of this, all those of the city taken into this giant orb that just hovers there. And in the events 14 years after finally getting out of the Eva, as he was taken down before it could complete the third impact, he finds life has changed. Things are now more of a mess than ever. People don't trust him anymore. His father is no different. And when given a chance to possibly undo the damage he did, he jumps at it. Even to the point that when he's told to stop by the very person who presented him with this opportunity to undo the damage, he's not listening. And because of this, he almost starts the fourth impact. He sees the death of this other person who gave him hope, who gave him possibly the sense of confidence again. He sees him reduced to a blood splatter and having to fight against his former friends in the hopes of the deluded hope that he can change things for the better. And all I'm thinking for this is going to restore him to the point he was in the end of Evangelion. He is going to be the emotional wreck. He is going to be useless. Even Neo Genesis Evangelion should really be called Dead Screw with Shinji. Because ultimately this, all there is. He gets a moment of being picked up, he gets smacked down harder. And ultimately, he just falls apart. And this is the main problem of the Evangelion series. Shinji. You either tolerate him or you can't. Because I swear, any comparison you have for him in the beginning of the series, you're reaching halfway, he's gone because he's not growing. He's not developing. Because the series seems to hate him. And seems to want to make him suffer as much as possible. Well, enough of picking on Shinji for now. Moving on to the next pilot. Rei Aranami. She is a quiet, reserved individual who only seems to come to life around Shinji's father. And Shinji is fascinated with her. She is the pilot of Unit 0. And when we first meet her, she's in a bad shape because of a test with Unit 0. It went crazy. And she was badly injured in it. Since I've been going with the spoilers, here's a big one. Rei Aranami is the genetic clone of Shinji's mother. There are 3 clones of her that have been in the anime series. There is Rei Aranami 1, who was shown killed in a flashback. Then we get introduced to Rei Aranami 2, who we see the development of throughout the most of the series into her death. She sacrifices herself to save Shinji. And then there's Aranami number 3, who spends most of the series from then on just trying to discover who she is. She is the most tolerable of the 3 pilots. And yet she is probably the most dull in comparison. She's quiet, she's reserved, she's not particularly a social person. She's an albino, even though she's shown to have colour pigmentation and her hair is done a light blue. I can't really say much else about her really, because other than that, she does develop along in the anime through Shinji, because his father introduced him, and due to his machinations, they bond to a degree. She grows as a person, where Shinji becomes important. And in the Rebuild series, while only being shown to have 2 clones, the first one, who were introduced in the first film, and then in the second film where she's eaten by the angel. In the second one, she tries to reunite Shinji and his father until an event comes up, and that just falls apart. She does as she's told, and because of that, the 3rd pilot calls her a doll, because she has little in terms of overall personality and does as she's told. And in the 3rd Rebuilt movie, she won't do anything unless ordered to by Shinji's father. And she only starts questioning things after talking to Shinji. Because he's trying to make a difference, he's trying to reach out to her. She is his only link to a friendly face of the past. Now, moving on to the most outspoken of the Eva pilots. Unit 3, actually not Unit 3, Unit 2 is piloted by Asuka Langley, so I have no idea how to pronounce her surname. She is the last of the main characters that are the pilots. She is denoted as the 2nd child, while Shinji is denoted as the 3rd, Rei the 1st. She is being quoted on the wiki as being 1/4 Japanese, which accounts for her Japanese name, but European appearance. Native of Germany, she was raised there, although nationality is technically American. Now that's rather complex, isn't it not? She is defined as a child prodigy and has a university degree in an unspecified field as a teenager. She speaks fluent Japanese, but has trouble reading and writing kanji. She is a red-headed terror from hell, with an equally fierce temper. She is proud of being a naval pilot, and just wants everyone else to know that she is a pilot, that she is special. She is constantly speaking down to Shinji, calling him a fool, calling him an idiot. She refers to Rei as a doll. And of all the characters, she is no better than the other 2. Shinji's broken. Rei has got her identity issues. Asuka is... Good God. Her mother was involved with a contact experiment with Unit 2 when she was only 4, as Shinji's mother was with Unit 1. However, Asuka's mother survived the test, but she became insane, believing that Asuka's doll was actually her real daughter and refusing to acknowledge her real daughter, just merely calling her that girl over there, and eventually ends up killing herself by hanging herself. And Asuka discovers this when she goes to tell her the good news that she's been chosen to be an Eva pilot, hoping to get her attention. Later on, her American father remarried to a German doctor. The mother is repelled by Asuka's defensive nature, and the two just don't gel at all. They don't become attached. But talking with Shinji, Asuka merely states that she doesn't hate her stepmother, but feels she could never replace her real mother. When it comes down to it, Asuka's loud, she's brass, she's arrogant, she's a prodigy. In the original manga, her introduction is marked by she takes down an angel by herself with a barely equipped Eva. Well, Shinji's real appearance, he only beats the angel because his Eva went berserk and he lost control and the angel self-detonated to try and take them both out. But Asuka takes down an angel by herself, not in the anime. She does it when she's sharing the cockpit with Shinji, and in the rebuild series, her appearance, she takes down an angel by herself again. But ultimately, she's very loud, she's brash, she thinks she's all that, she thinks she's special, she thinks the best thing going. All the while, she misses her mother, and Shinji basically remarks at one point that she's just another mama's girl, not knowing that's how she lost her own mother. She is vulnerable, insecure, which is only shown through dreams or thoughts. She intrudes on others' personal space, violence. Yes, I think the first or second episode, she seduced, she kicks someone's ass who was trying to pick on Shinji's. But ultimately, mostly, she's picking on Shinji. She needs to be self-sufficient, a polar opposite of Shinji, who needs others to recognize him, to give him worth, and Asuka has great difficulty dealing with her failures, which she does time and again. Worse still is when she's got angel battle. She needs the aid of the other pilots to take down this angel that dropped down from orbit that would annihilated Tokyo 3 just to get to Lilith. Claiming she could take it out alone, but ultimately in the end she gets the wake-up call, no she can't. But still, with its outward personality, she would appear to be the most confident of the pilots. But ultimately, she's no better than Shinji in needing to feel needs special and a lot. Possibly one of her greatest moments comes in the end of Evangelion, when she's fighting off against the rest of the Eva series. She takes them down, yes, but ultimately she doesn't finish them off. And this leads to one of the most disturbing scenes in the film. And this series, films and all, has its moments of disturbing nature. One of these is when Eva 1 goes berserk, attacking one of the angels in the latter part of the anime. He's beaten and probably eats it alive. Overall, what is this series about? It's about these pilots. It's about their supposed growth. Although ultimately in this series it's about knocking them down, breaking them into God knows some pathetic individuals. All the while, Shinji's father is aiming to be reunited with his wife once again through the third impact. His plans take precedence over Seirei, who wants to initiate the third impact to induce humans' evolution. So instead of a more focused battle against Eva, against the angels, what we get is these characters. It's very character-driven, except for one problem. These characters, you either hate them, try to sympathize them, but ultimately can't because they don't grow in any particular positive manner. They just fester. Or you just hate them because they're cocky and just don't have the backup for it. The end of the series is insane. It makes no sense to me, because ultimately the only time that Shinji starts to pick up is just finally, after an entire series of people trying to reach him, he gets yet again just takes one line and starts to say, "Oh yes, I can start loving myself. I can start respecting myself." And Asuka kick his ass. In the end of Evangelion, I've already split it out. He is worthless. All he's good for is initiating the third impact. And it comes to an end where it's a case of, what the hell just happened? Humanity's fate depends on Shinji. And the simple answer for anyone who knows Shinji outside of the series is, they're boned. Asuka is broken down time and again. Rei is killed off for a second time. First time on the flashback, second time sacrificing herself to save Shinji. Third time, she merges with Lilith to initiate the third impact to come to Shinji's aid. Of course, he's just mentally broken at that point. The series is drowning in Christianity symbolism, but it means nothing. It's just there. In the series, either you got the battles going on, which some of them are quite impressive, also, but from what I hear, the budget was used up rather quickly, so later on it was not so good, where the quality slipped. Or you got episodes where just nothing's going on, it's boring. It's a slog to get through. I tried to get through this series. Just as well, it's only showing one episode per week. I may never got through it if it was every day. What can I say about Neo Genesis Evangelion? It doesn't matter which iteration it is. It's ultimately going to the same thing. Just kick the crap out of Shinji. In the light of trying to prevent the third impact, which in the rebuilt series he starts, not on purpose, but he starts. And then he goes to start the fourth impact, which is stopped much sooner, but he's going to be left a broken husk. This series it's a slog. It's hard. It's either so deep or just so dull or just so badly written. It's either can manage it or not, because I swear there's no middle ground for this. Neo Genesis Evangelion, a mindfuck through bad writing and bad direction. So yes, just that. And so moving on to something a bit lighter and easier to handle.